By the way, this is the Value Proposition podcast. Andy made the logo. It's needing some work.
The logo will evolve over time, I think.
This is the first rendering.
This logo took me 35 seconds in Starbucks. So
Yeah.
I think it'll evolve. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll manage.
As we grow, the money we get from this will grow, and our
we can maybe
product
pay somebody
could
to,
be better,
to
yeah.
make us a logo.
Yeah, no, we could definitely do that. This is good. Good start.
Well, it looks
Is this a
better.
product placement opportunity?
Apple, if you want to sponsor.
All right,
Okay.
let's get serious.
Let's get serious.
And
Callum.
it's a pleasure to be here with you.
It is. It's a pleasure.
This has been a bit last minute for us.
So for the audience watching or not watching, we booked this podcast studio on Thursday at about 3 o'clock for today. We're now at Monday at 9 a.m. So
It's been quick.
it's been quick. So if this sucks, that's why.
Comment below.
yeah.
All right, so let's
okay.
get into it. Andy, tell me about the background. Tell me about your history, where you grew up.
So, my name is Andy Henderson. I'm 27. My background is hospitality. As you know, Callum, I play ice hockey, and I have played ice hockey for my whole life. Took me to many great places, Canada, your neck of the woods, and ended up falling into professional ice hockey, which then I didn't enjoy so much. So stepped back and then got into the working world, and it was only natural for me to fall into my family business, which at the time was hospitality. So I did that for about 5 years, and then decided, you know what, this hospitality industry is tough, not really for me, it's not really where I see myself, so maybe try something different. And real estate seemed to be like a pretty solid option. I had people skills. I could handle myself in different situations from working in hospitality. And yeah, real estate seemed like a pretty decent option. Little did I know that COVID was about to happen and both markets going to shut. It's like a spanner in the works. But here we are. Everything's progressed. COVID was actually a blessing in disguise for me because I couldn't sell any houses even if I wanted to. So if you could imagine starting a career, raring to go, you want to get selling, and then boff, you can't sell any houses.
Yeah.
But it allowed me to learn everything about my market, my competition, my area, the houses that sold well, the houses that didn't. And because I'd learnt so much, when the market eventually did open, I smashed it pretty much, which sounds a bit cheesy, but yeah, I did really well. And then, fast forward to now, here we are, 5 years in real estate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been a ride.
Is it true
Is it true?
that you were the highest salesman, or the most sales per year? Consecutive years in a row.
Yes. So I was the number one sales agent in Scotland. Now, obviously, depending on
Sure.
month and area, there was people who were above me, then I was above them. But yeah, I was the number one sales agent in Scotland. I sold between 50 and 80 houses a year, which is
Unbelievable.
Which is a lot of houses. It's a lot of stress. And then I was number 45 in Europe as well. So there's about 32,000 agents in Europe.
Yep.
Now, most of these people who I was competing against up at that level, they all had assistants and people who did their viewings for them, because the commission rates are so much higher in all these other European countries. Scotland is the lowest out of any area in the world, I'm pretty sure. Our standard fee is 1%.
Yeah.
There's people in Italy getting 7-8% for one sale, so they can afford to pay assistants and viewing agents and all this kind of thing. In Scotland, you can't really afford to do that. So I was flying the flag on my own, but it was good fun. It was good fun.
Yeah, I mean, any agent in America, they hear 50, 80 sales, they think, you're going to be a millionaire. And there's a reason we're still here in this room together doing a podcast. So,
Yeah, I mean,
things don't work out as well over here.
No, which is a shame because there is actually a lot of solid agents in Scotland that they're just not making enough money because the commission rate's too low. And there's loads of reasons for that, which we can get into and maybe later on in the episode or later podcasts or different things. But
all things Scotland real estate.
Yeah. Wow. But it's a tough industry because you need to get used to selling volume, and at the same time the property prices aren't high either.
No.
So
I mean, I've seen homes for £30,000.
You can get a flat in Dundee for 35 grand.
Yeah.
Now, it's a fucking dump, but. You need to sell. No offense. Yeah, you need to sell volume, and you need to try and target higher valued properties as well. Otherwise, it's really not worthwhile. I mean, if you sell 50, even if you were to sell the amount that I was selling, between 50 and 80 a year, if you were selling 50 grand flats, you're only making as a self-employed agent. Say you charge a fixed fee of £1,250, and you're splitting that with the agency that you work with, you're only making like £600-700 and it's a lot of work. Whereas if you target a higher value area or a higher value neighbourhood, you could be selling things at 500, 600, 700,000, and it's the same work. It really is. Yeah, okay, the viewings take slightly longer, but it's the same. You're putting in the same work as what you would selling a house or a flat at 50 grand. Yeah. So it's a no-brainer. You got to be targeting those higher value properties if you're an estate agent.
It's going to be a good clip.
Clip it. So, Callum, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I am Callum Brown. I grew up in South Florida, originally born in South Carolina. So, that means nothing to you.
Hell yeah.
It's a pride thing. I turned actually the first kind of notable thing I've ever done was turn professional in golf when I was turning 21. Thank you. So went to the Middle East, left college early, took a flight to Jordan. Of all places.
Wow.
Yeah. Some coach I was working with at the time said, "Hey, found this really good tour. You should join it." I'm like, okay. I was in college. I didn't know what I was doing. Told my parents this was a great idea. Parents were all over it.
Yeah.
And so we took off, flew over there, got my tour card on the number, played for about 3 months. That was kind of right when COVID hit. I think I've got my dates right.
Yeah. And how did COVID affect golf?
Oh, it was rough.
Yeah.
So when COVID first hit, I was playing a golf tournament in Spain. In Catalonia. Lovely place. Lovely place. And I read in the news, I was like, there's this virus, it's spreading around the world, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you don't think much about it. You just think, whatever it was.
Of course.
Fine. So, we started playing golf. And then as the days progressed, it went from, no more handshakes. This is all in the course of a week. It was, you could do whatever you wanted. A couple of days later, handshakes only. Then they had hand sanitizer on the flag sticks. You couldn't touch them.
Geez.
And it was like, what is going on? And it was like, we're canceling next week's event as well.
Okay. And at that level, did you have to putt with the flag in? Because on all the on all the courses around Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, like they would tell you, like, hey, you can't take it out, and then we would take it out because some people don't like to do that, and you're playing for money, so whatever.
Of course.
So then I had to fly back to the States. Total lockdown. It was no golf, no nothing. Just like everybody else. I know it's a lot worse over here. Probably. My dad was locked away for 200 days or something.
I know
that.
it was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But eventually things got up and running over there. Kept going. Kind of trying to find my place in the golf world, which is difficult. So I decided, okay, I think it's probably time to scrap this. So fast forward a few years. After trying to, get on some tours, play here, play there, join the family business, just like yourself. So we have a real estate company called Alistair Brown International Real Estate.
Go Alistair.
Yep.
Shout out.
Shout out. Could be our next guest. I don't know. See where this podcast goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
So joined the family business almost 2 years now. So it's been great. Obviously, learning from a master salesman.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
100%.
know him well. You work together right now.
Yeah.
Three of us make quite a bunch.
Yeah, we do. We do.
It's always good. And that's part of the reason why we're kind of doing this podcast in a way as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just while you're on that, can you tell me and the audience, if there's anyone there,
Totally.
how was the transition from golf to real estate? So I know in my head I was from ice hockey, and the things that I took from ice hockey to real estate.
Sure.
What qualities, or how was your transition from golf into real estate?
Yeah, it's a bit of a long story, I suppose. I've always been around golf my whole life, ever since I was just a little kid, really.
Yeah.
Mainly due to my dad, of course.
Yeah.
And he would always bring me around golf clubs and introduce me to, well-to-do folks that worked at the club or members at the club, whatever. So it's always been a part of me, I suppose.
Yeah.
And that was a point that he made sure to, have, is saying, hey, I'm going to bring you around these people. This is how you introduce yourself. This is how you shake a hand. This is how you look someone in the eyes, that sort of thing. So that was amazing for me. And, getting into the real estate world, because I've already had the background.
Of course.
I already know how to say hi to a whoop-de-doo billionaire.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It does thinks he's a bit too cool for himself, but you could still have a conversation with somebody, of course.
Of course, yeah.
And that was instilled very early from him. So credit to you again. Don't give him a lot of that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Excellent. So the crossover was quite simple.
Yeah. So you found it okay. You didn't struggle at all, really.
Yeah. And one thing we've had in common is the bartending stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's probably the best segue into real estate.
Without a doubt. And I've said to so many people, like I get messages on Instagram quite frequently from young people who are not so sure what they want to do. They've seen that I've done okay, and they're just asking for advice.
Yeah.
What do you think
started?
I should do? Yeah. And the first thing that I always say is, if you're still at school, come out of school and get a job in hospitality, because it does so much for your confidence in talking to people. And you can't teach that. You need to go through that experience in order to learn it. And I think that if you can, work behind a bar, go and take an order for a table of 40 people, you can speak to anyone, really.
Yeah.
And I think that
it's awkward at first.
Yeah, of course. But there's so
Naturally.
many qualities in hospitality and serving people, really, because that's what you're doing in hospitality. And in a roundabout way, that is what real estate is. You're trying to help somebody out to the best of your ability.
And it's individual. Just
of course.
like it's person to person, like at a bar.
Yeah.
One person likes their dirty martini one way. One person thinks they're having a dirty martini. It's just a martini. They think that they're both right. And it's the same case with customers. One customer might think that's overpriced. One customer might think it's perfectly priced.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's another, we've actually had a very similar journey in terms of playing professional sports, hospitality, real estate. It's interesting. It is really interesting. I don't think I've ever met anyone that's done and we're very similar ages as well. I'm 27, you're 26. We're born in the same year. I think it's really interesting because I'd really meet somebody that's done any of two of the three, and you've done like three of the three, which is cool.
Yeah, that's great. Quick message from our sponsors.
Yeah, none of them.
I was thinking we could get some sponsors though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking because the Clyde Distillery is right around the corner from me. I was thinking about showing up and showing them that.
Don't show them that. Jesus.
Anyways, Clyde Distillery is great.
I'm just gonna. Do you want some water?
Oh, that'd be great. Show me those hospitality skills.
Oh yeah.
All right, next. I guess we're gonna shoot for the podcast idea.
Yeah.
Why and who and what.
Yeah. Actually, I've got. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some. Andy's got some stuff. Like the slate coasters.
I've actually got these at home, so it made me feel a bit more comfortable. So, Callum, why don't you tell the audience a bit about why we've started this podcast? What is the podcast going to be about, and why we started it?
Yeah, so I'll tell you my answer.
Okay.
Let's hope they line. So
I hope so. Yeah.
So we did this podcast. We've been chatting for some time now about what can we do. Young professionals. Where do you get advice? You can get advice from anywhere in the world nowadays.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is perceived phony, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is, how to generate generational wealth in 30 days, 90 days.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
silly stuff.
Of course.
And I think what we've kind of come to the conclusion is, well, why don't we interview the people that have done fairly well for themselves? People who have made a living, worked hard, figured something out, found a niche for themselves. How do you find a niche for yourself?
Yeah.
And that's something that this podcast hopefully will teach us,
Hopefully.
but also anyone who fucking listens. I don't know
Yeah.
who that's going to be, but there's people out there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And, we're nobody special
No.
right now,
No, of course.
until this blows up.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban's going to be sitting here in no time.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. We're going to interview people. We're going to learn about business in general, not just about real estate.
Yeah.
Of course, that's what we do, and
Yeah.
we'll be able to talk about that. But how can someone who's maybe down in the dumps or doesn't know what to do or how to make the next step? What do they do?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think we're on similar pages without a doubt. And I think
Great.
having a bit of a laugh about it as well. You know, we don't have to. This doesn't have to be too serious. I think a lot of business podcasts that I listen to, they're so serious as well. And yeah, okay, there's a time and a place for that. And I get business is serious, but you've got to have a laugh too. I think business, real estate, and sales. I think that's and comedy.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I think that we're on the same page with that. And like you said, there's so much misinformation. There's so much information, and a lot of it's misinformation online. And if you're a young guy trying to get started, I mean, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And if you Google or YouTube, you get so many different answers. And just because one person's done it and it's worked, it really doesn't mean that it's going to work for somebody else as well. So I think that it's really important to get different people's perspectives rather than, coming on here and just listening to a podcast where they're trying to sell you something. There's always an agenda behind most people who make this business content. Normally they're trying to sell you something at the same time. We're literally just talking about our own experiences, getting guests on that hopefully can help us out and help the audience out as well. And I think that it'll evolve over time as well. I think that as we get going, as we get comfortable, and as things progress, that we will start, dipping in and out of maybe different things and seeing what this can come to.
100%.
Hell
Well
yeah.
said.
Oh yeah. Right, what we got next?
Still working on the production value. The questions.
Hey, bear with us. How we met. Have we talked about that? No. Do you want to talk about that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, did we meet? What was it? What was our first meeting?
We golfed. We
Yes,
golfed.
we golfed. Yes, of course. Yeah.
So because all really started because I work with your dad now, of course. So for anyone that doesn't know, I worked as a self-employed real estate agent for 4.5 years with a company called Remax. Callum knows my backstory, of course. And I then got offered a job selling houses for an American developer called Discovery Land Company, who aren't a massive company in the UK or Europe really yet. However, globally are pretty mammoth, I would say.
Yeah.
So I'm now selling kind of luxury residential communities to people that are worth multi-millionaires and billionaires, essentially. So I met Callum's dad, actually, Alistair, about 3-4 months ago when I started this job. Alistair's my boss when I'm working for Discovery, and Alistair's also Callum's dad. So
my boss.
Your boss too. So Alistair said, my son's similar age to you. I think you guys would get on really well. So, I mean, Callum, as he touched on earlier, is a big golfer. He's not very good, right enough. No, I'm joking.
That's
He's
rich.
shit hot. So we golfed. Alistair took me down. We golfed in Glasgow. We had a great time. We got on really well.
Yeah.
And here we are 2-3 months later.
Yeah.
So that was how
Going strong.
we originally met. You got anything to add to that, Callum? I mean, I'll not tell you what I thought
other
about.
than your
I'll not tell you what.
shit.
I'll not tell you what I thought about him when I first met him. But other than your golfing shit, go on. Mine's
Only
terrible.
guy to
But
tee up
I'm-
on a par 5 with a fucking iron. Who though?
yeah, I know. I know. You got more chance of hitting the fairway.
Oh,
So-
wait, you.
Yeah, course management.
Oh boy. Yeah. So that was it was about a couple months ago now. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got anything to add to that?
No,
No.
not really.
So you're saying I smashed that? Yeah.
I think you really smashed. Yeah, you smashed that. Well done. Well done. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on swiftly. Swiftly or unswiftly, we got to read from the computer screen.
All right, we can't touch on the structure. How do we plan on? Oh, we should have some Q&As. Oh, yeah. Engagement. That's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fast fire. Is it like fast fire or Q&A?
I've got an idea for like the rapid fire.
Yeah. Have you got questions for the rapid fire though? Because that's the hold up.
That's fair. I haven't yet, but I can. When you're answering, I'll look it up.
Okay.
All right. So tell us how you think, we're going to be engaged with our audience.
How I think we're going to be engaged with that. Jeez, that's a loaded question.
All right.
Am I going to be engaged? Fucking hell, Callum.
Unlucky.
This is going to be the first and the last episode of the podcast.
Don't know how to raise this question. What sort of opportunities? What opportunities can we share with our audience about how they can get in touch with us? Should we do some Q&As? Oh, I was almost there. Okay.
Oh my God.
Tell our very small audience how they can get in touch with us.
So our audience can get in touch with us on Instagram, on I suppose Instagram, really. That's it. You can get in touch with me on either my personal Instagram, which is Andy_Henderson7, or on my business Instagram, which is Andy Henderson Real Estate. Also, we've got an Instagram page for the Value Proposition Podcast. The Instagram is Value Proposition Podcast. So without a doubt, send us a message on there. We'll reply because we've not got that many messages. Callum, where can our lovely audience get in touch with you?
I have an Instagram. It is Callum Brown Real Estate. One word. That's it.
Nice and easy.
Nice
So
and easy.
if anyone has any questions, get in touch.
Fire away.
Fire away.
I've got the rapid fire.
Okay. So are you going to rapid fire me, then I'll rapid yeah. Cancel that. Jesus Christ. This is
Wow, that was.
this is getting awkward pretty quick.
Oh my God! At least it's 9 a.m, so you can't have any alcohol. Can you imagine what that's going to be like?
Jesus.
Once Clyde Distillery
Yeah.
is one of our sponsors.
Yes.
I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
I don't even know what
think
you're
it's
talking about.
Clydeside Distill. They'll know. All right. So before we get into that, though, maybe some fun. Oh yeah. Okay, we're on rapid fire. All right, Andy.
Here we go.
This is our first bit, our first section, really.
Our first.
Like fun thing.
What's the word?
What's the...
Segment.
Yeah, this is our first segment. It's unoriginal. It's called the rapid fire round.
Wow, that must have taken you a lot of thought.
I just Googled it.
Chat GPT.
Okay, so let's start. What are you currently reading?
What am I currently reading? I'm currently rereading a book called Never Split the Difference.
Wow. That's
Unbelievable
a powerful
read. If anyone has not seen that book, read it. Anyway, this is meant to be rapid fire. So
Chris Voss,
Chris
if you're
Voss.
listening, we've
Spon-
been to some of your things. First concert you attended?
The View. It's a Dundee band.
Never heard of them.
No.
Sorry. What's your favorite word?
Property.
If you could win an Olympic medal for any sport, what would it be?
What would be most likely, or if I could win an Olympic?
Oh, your choice. Dream world.
It's got to be the 100-meter sprint. I would love to be the fastest man on the
Oh,
planet.
that'd be amazing. That would be amazing. Favorite subject in school?
Exercise science.
Nice. Specific.
Yeah.
Final question. What would be your last meal?
It's got to be a steak. It's so unoriginal, but it's got to be a steak.
That is unoriginal. That's okay. That concludes the rapid fire round.
I think we should maybe take away the rapid because I took a bit. I mean, I don't even know if you could clip that. It's too long.
That takes away the fire round. Just ask any of the questions on there. Doesn't have to be the same.
No, I'm not going to ask.
I figured not. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, Callum.
Yeah.
Rapid fire round. Here we go. What's the one thing your mother/father taught you that completely changed your life?
Be kind.
Great question. Great answer. Oh, what's the last text you sent?
I'll see you soon. I sent it to you.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a lot more saucy than that.
I know. I'm so sorry.
What's your biggest fear?
Bees.
Bees.
I fucking hate bees, man. I hate bees.
Oh my God.
Seriously, that is my biggest fear.
Really?
Petrified.
Oh,
I will.
Wow.
In fact, this weekend I was at a bar and there was a bee close to the table, and I pretended like I had to go to the bathroom just to avoid the bee
God.
and not make a scene. It's pretty embarrassing.
You've got issues.
I know.
What does success mean to you?
Oh boy.
Rapid fire.
Right. Taking care of everybody around you.
It's a great answer, by the way. It's a great answer.
Thank you. Rapidly fired.
Last one.
Okay.
Where's your happy place?
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Value Proposition Podcast. No, generally speaking, it's just wherever I am.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Rapid
All right.
fire.
Let's move on to the next thing,
Okay.
which will be cryptocurrency.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency.
Let's take a short dive, not
Okay.
a deep dive,
Yeah.
into the world of cryptocurrency.
Okay.
So, in I think you've dabbled in cryptocurrency.
yeah, I have a bit.
buying and selling.
Yeah.
All that. So,
Yeah.
cryptocurrencies. I mean, I see a lot of stuff online about, buy $100 of Shiba Inu tomorrow and you'll be a millionaire in 3 months. Do you think that has validity?
I think that if you don't know what you're doing, you need to be very, 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 very lucky in order to make money. Now, I'm not saying that you can't make money if you don't know what you're doing, because you actually can, believe it or not. If you could go and buy a coin tomorrow, a shitty coin tomorrow that you've never even heard of, and it could pop off. It really could. But you could do that with 2 or 3 or 4 or 500 different coins, and none of them pop off. I mean, there's so many different coins out there available that if you don't know what you're doing, your chance of success is virtually none. I've done a bit of cryptocurrency. I go through phases. I go through phases where I really want to learn a lot about it, and I'll kind of immerse myself into the cryptocurrency world and read articles and watch videos, but I still don't have a good enough concept of it to talk openly and freely about it. Now, I do own some. I've owned quite a lot actually in the past and sold. I was big on XRP, and I still think XRP is a really good coin. But I was big on XRP. I held a lot of XRP for a while. but I sold it
I
because
know
I
a few
just,
people who've done that.
well, XRP is interesting. Like
It's
it's in my opinion. Now I've read up a lot about
Oh, yeah.
XRP. I've not read up a lot about it recently because when I held a lot of it, that was when I was like big into it. And I mean, the reason I sold it was they were going through this big case with the government, and I just couldn't be bothered waiting anymore.
Yeah.
So I sold it. However, I think out of all the cryptocurrencies, that has the most potential because it's cheap. And
very
that's that's one
the
of the biggest things is that, yeah, okay, you could go and buy a one Bitcoin, but unfortunately you're going to be out of pocket. I don't even know what's sitting at, 60 odd thousand.
56,000 last night or something like that.
So you're going to be out of pocket 60 grand if you want to buy one. And yeah, okay, it could go to 100,000 or 200,000, but
Could also go the other way.
it could go the other way.
Possibly.
And the percentage is going to go up. It's only if it goes up to 100,000, you're not even talking about that big a change. Whereas a coin like XRP is cheap.
Pennies.
You can buy a lot of it, and if it goes up to $1 or if it goes up to $2, then you're going to make a lot more money on it.
To the moon, as they say.
Yeah, and this is not financial advice, so please don't go and buy it.
We do not have any affiliation with SEC.
No.
We don't know anything we're talking about.
But-
Do not take this.
No, definitely not. However, XRP with essentially what it does is it's a digital currency and it's interchangeable super quick. So like if you were to transfer Bitcoin to somebody, it could take a couple of days.
Yeah.
If you transfer XRP, it's done in seconds.
Yeah.
So at one stage when I was heavily reading it about it, they were saying that it could be the digital currency that's used globally rather than having a dollar and a pound and a euro and all this. If money was to go digital, the chances are that would be the chances are that would be the currency that they use. But I mean, I don't know. I don't look into it too much anymore.
Yeah.
I very much now go by stick to what you know, and I know real estate. So I with the last investment I made, the last couple of investments I made were properties.
Yeah.
Because that's what I know. And if anything goes wrong, I'm not fussed about it. I know that potentially it's going to come back. So I'm not too big on cryptocurrency anymore. Callum, tell us your experience.
Well, it's actually a perfect segue for what I was going to talk about was the combination of the two, cryptocurrency and real estate. It's a fun thing to talk about.
It is, definitely.
It provides a lot of opportunity for folks who are kind of on the fence about doing either. Or putting their money into the stock market. So one of the things that we've been doing in our business is learning about how we can tokenize real estate assets. It's not really something it's being done, but no one has a really set established way.
Mm-hmm.
It's everyone's a pioneer.
Of course.
It's just the Wild West.
Yeah.
But it creates the opportunity to get a $500,000 house. You can then cut that up into 100,000 slices. Yeah. And then everyone can get a piece of the pie. And then everyone also gets monthly rental revenue.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great idea. It's a great concept without a shadow of a doubt.
It's genius. And then the other thing that you're able to do then is offer people, let's say if it's a vacation-driven investment in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
That $500,000 home with a pool, all that. Well, if that's under a management company, your investment might equate to a 7-night stay as well.
Yeah.
So you get the rental revenue, you get your week stay at least. It's kind of the best of both worlds. And I think that is definitely, we know some insider information on this.
Course.
So it's a little bit different. Sorry, guys. But that is definitely where things are heading.
Yeah.
And it's, for the wealthy, but we all know that the market as well is those vacation-driven revenues.
Yeah, and without a doubt. And I think that you made a great point in that you can split it up into 100 pieces and everyone gets a piece of the pie. Now, what Callum means by that essentially is, say you were to buy a standard investment property in Orlando, you would need to say the investment property was, I don't know, 400,000.
Yeah.
You need to put down 30%.
30% maximum.
So it's a chunk. It's a chunk of money. Not everyone has that amount of money up front
Yeah.
to put down to buy an investment property.
Yeah.
With tokenization and using cryptocurrency, it then means that you can split that up and you can maybe buy £10,000 worth or dollars, or you can buy £1,000 worth, or it opens the door for so many more people to invest in real estate that couldn't have
And the
afforded
risk
to.
is less as well,
Of course.
because you're typically talking about an asset that's owned in entirety. So you don't have to worry about it. If it does go bust, you can still sell the asset.
Well, if cryptocurrency by some way is a myth and doesn't happen, you've still got the property there, you've still got the asset, which means that the token is actually backed up by
something tangible,
something that's there.
And I think that's what's always scared people with cryptocurrencies in the past is what are these things tied to?
Yeah. Where is my Bitcoin?
I'm sure there's a Bitcoin nerd who will comment on this and say, oh, well, it's tied to so-and-so XYZ and through this chain and through the other loop. It's like, well, I understand that. But I'm talking about, how do you sell that to a normal person?
Average person, yeah.
It's very difficult. Whereas it's a lot easier to sell someone the idea, well, this is what you're buying. This is the piece that you get. This is the return you get. And you can stay for a week. That's an easy, digestible process.
100%. And
not scary.
No, not at all. And like you say, for people who don't believe in cryptocurrency, and there's so many people out there who don't believe in cryptocurrency, there really is.
Tons.
There's so many, and I've met many in the hundreds of millionaires.
Yeah.
And they don't believe in cryptocurrency.
No, they don't even sniff it.
They do not believe in it. They will not touch it because they think it's too risky.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it lets you dabble into cryptocurrency while it's being backed up by a hard asset that you can look at. Christ, you can go and stay in it if you want to go and stay in it, so it means that if worst case scenario cryptocurrency goes tits up, backed up by the asset, you've still got the house, you've still got something for it. I think that was a great segue.
Thanks.
Swiftly moving on into cryptocurrency.
That was pretty good. So I think that's an amazing opportunity. So we'll keep you updated on how it's going, guys. Sorry about the Bitcoin nerds.
We're not buying it yet.
Keyboard warriors, baby.
What's your thoughts on AI?
Oh, that's better.
We've just opened the can of worms.
Wow, this is a deep dive now.
Yeah.
So AI, wow, powerful. That's a great word to describe it.
Without a doubt.
Scary.
Yeah.
Followed by a question mark.
Yeah.
Hard to say for certain.
I think that's fair.
We've been exposed to some interesting AI information in the last couple months.
Yeah, we have.
Some of the folks we've run into.
Yep, we have.
No names.
Yeah.
However, what they can do now and the lifetime of a specific AI is so short, and the window that it gets to be whatever it is before it evolves, like the evolution from one stage to the next is weeks, days.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem, it's not a human being where it takes thousands and thousands of years for us to change.
Of course.
Where the AI is instantaneous. It's always getting smarter and better. And I think that might scare people. Obviously it's going to have an impact on jobs and job creation, job growth, especially in the States.
Definitely. And I think that it's going to be something that people who are maybe studying at university or thinking about what they want to get into over the next, couple of years, whether depending on what career path they want to take, it's something that's going to really have to be considered. Is my job replaceable by an AI?
100%.
Is it? Because, if you're working in a supermarket, scanning, we've already seen that happen.
Yeah.
So many supermarkets cut their level of staffing because you can just use a self-scanner.
Yeah, we do that in the States. And the crazy part is, a lot of the items that you purchase, you're paying the price for certain things because someone's scanning them.
Well, of course.
if no one's scanning them, you're overpaying
Yeah, yeah.
because you're paying for someone's labor
Yeah,
when it's
definitely
actually not there.
I had an interesting conversation with a guy who was looking at some property not that long ago now. He's worth probably 800 million. And
Rookie numbers.
And he was saying that he has a new company now that invests in AI startups.
Yeah.
And I mean, he says it's unbelievable the information that's going to come out over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And
Not surprised.
I mean, it's good in a way that for these dangerous jobs. So one of the companies that I've heard of, a company called Figure AI, they make robots.
Mm-hmm.
They make robots that essentially act like humans.
Yeah.
Literally, it's pretty scary. I mean, I've watched a video on it of this robot doing its job, and it's pretty scary. It really is. And their whole goal is to make these robots so that nobody has to do any dangerous jobs, i.e. a factory worker that is at risk of being injured.
Sure.
These robots can now do the factory jobs that people probably shouldn't be doing due to the risk of injury. And also mundane tasks.
Sure.
So doing the dishes, making the bed, hoovering the house. I mean, Jesus Christ. Imagine having a robot walking about your house doing all these things. But for somebody who's got the money to do so, if they pay a maid or a housekeeper, I don't know, £30,000 a year, this robot's cheaper.
Oh,
it is. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
So the company that I've looked into the most, Figure AI, that's what their goal is: mundane tasks and factory or dangerous jobs.
Which makes perfect sense.
Of course, I think that it's a great thing in terms of that. Yeah. However, it's a shame people are going to lose their jobs, but that's just the reality of the situation. Yeah. You need to then go into a career that isn't going to be taken over by AI. I mean, people need to be smarter about these types of things now, because that's just the reality of the situation that we're all in. And I think that it's really going to get a lot more severe over the next couple of years.
Yeah. I think with the power that we're putting into these AI technologies and the AI that goes into the robots, so it knows how to do these tasks, that's getting smarter and smarter, and they're learning how to think freely to a certain degree. Now, obviously, you can flick the switch and turn it off, but what if it were somehow able to figure out how to spread it? I mean, there's been movies about this. There's literally been movies about this.
But and that's the scary thing as well.
Did The Simpsons do an episode about that? Then we need to make it start.
But I think that's the scary thing. What can this robot teach us? So the thing that amazes me actually is think of the coding that goes into these things. Oh.
Have you ever learned about coding?
I've never done it. I mean, I've looked into coding and I know how it works.
Yeah.
But holy shit, think of the coding that goes into these robots.
Have you seen the coding that goes into emojis?
No.
It's wild.
A lot
of coding.
Really?
No, it's just it's small stuff compared to AI robots.
Yeah, of course.
But even that is an example. Like, to put it to maybe a scale. Putting emojis, texts, all that, it's all based off numbers and binary code and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
We can make an emoji, but then you also have these fucking robots that can wash your dishes and hoover your house.
I know.
We call it vacuuming. So
yeah.
Whatever.
So actually, there's a good segment.
Oh.
So
British
differences,
words to American.
Differences. But I actually find it's mainly Americans that I deal with at work.
Yeah.
Or North Americans at least. And I actually find that I need to change words that I'm saying. I need to slow down. I need to, for example, if I say garage, the garage is going to be on this area of the lot or plot if you're British, but we deal with Americans mostly, so it's a lot. If I say to somebody, your garage is going to be situated in this area of the lot, they just burst out laughing. It's like, garage? You mean garage?
Garage.
So yeah, there's a lot, but
we've done that in our own business as well. We for some reason, it's kind of a silly thing, but homes and properties. Villas and single family homes.
Yeah.
Do I know why we call them single family homes? Because what does that even mean?
I know.
Just what is a single?
Well,
what is a single
so-
family?
so-
It's just a family.
It's a family, yes.
It's a family home. I don't know why we call it.
So
Single
what do
family.
you call what would you call a one-story property? Would you just call it a one-story property?
We would just call it a house.
So you don't call it a bungalow?
No.
So in the UK, a one-story property is called a bungalow when when everything's on one level.
Yeah, I mean,
call
we
it a bungalow.
call it. We just you wouldn't call it a one-story per se, unless it's a two-story house. Then once you get to two, it's now it's
And
a
one
two-story
one thing that's
or a three-story.
One
house.
thing that's different in terms of property as well in the UK is that we go ground floor,
Oh,
first floor,
that drives me nuts.
second floor, third floor. So really the third floor is the fourth floor.
Yeah.
So we go ground, first, second, third, fourth, and so on.
Yeah.
You guys go first.
Yeah.
You've not got a ground floor.
We
You
don't
go
have ground
first.
floors.
So
No.
and
No, yeah,
that's
Hotels are confusing.
here.
Yeah.
For you.
When I was young, and I would when I started coming over here more on my own, you go to like a hotel or a business meeting or something, and you're like, yeah, we're on the fourth floor, and you're like trying to count. Like I don't.
Yeah. Love it.
Dumb American.
Yeah.
Dumb American. Andy, as we conclude this initial, pilot podcast, do you have any thoughts? Any wrap up feelings?
I think that, as I kind of touched on earlier, I think we'll start off speaking about business, real estate, sales, but I think this can evolve into whatever we want it to be, really. And I think that over time we'll get new ideas and hopefully improve our sense of business a lot in the general aspect. And people, if they start to listen, help them out as well. I think that one thing that I've realised probably only over the last maybe 2 years is that it actually feels really, this is probably really selfish me saying this, by the way, but it feels really good helping people. It really does. Like when I started to do well at Remax, I used to get asked to help the new agents out a lot. So I was the Remax Scotland ambassador. So essentially each region selects one person from the country to be the ambassador to Europe. So each country in Europe has an ambassador. The bigger countries have 2 ambassadors. Scotland only had 1. I was the Remax Scotland ambassador, so we got to network with all the other top agents in Europe, and I would feed those ideas back through Remax Scotland.
Yeah.
So one thing that I used to do a lot was when any new agents were starting, I would go on a weekly Q&A, and maybe at the start of their course, I would go through maybe a 1 or 2 hour presentation on my story, what I had done, what worked for me, and what people should implement in their business to give them the best chance of success. And then later on in the course, I would do a Q&A for them. And honestly, I used to really look forward to them. Now, I wasn't getting anything from it. I wasn't getting paid extra money to do it. I wasn't getting any kickback. It had no improvement on my life whatsoever. Yeah. But I used to really, really enjoy it. I used to really look forward to it because you're helping other people get where they want to be. Yeah. And not many people honestly can say that they have the ability to do that. So I'm really looking forward to that aspect of this, is that we can help young entrepreneurs or young people looking to get into real estate, business or sales. We can help them out with that, and we can show them some form of pathway and give them some form of indication on where or how to go about doing what they want to do. And I think that it's really important, especially nowadays where there's so much information online, so much shit, and nobody really knows. It's almost, there's too much information because you don't know then what to believe. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a really big part for me anyway. I don't know about you, but I think that's a big part of it for me too, is that I'll probably learn a lot about myself. You don't often get to sit down with somebody and talk for an hour straight about different topics. Yeah. So we're probably going to learn a lot about ourselves as well as other people who appear on the podcast. Absolutely. As well as help people out, as well as we both love business, real estate and sales. So it's good fun to come and chat about it, really. So I'm really looking forward to it. Good.
Ditto to all of that. Absolutely.
Agreed.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
We're gonna have a good time.
I think we are. Well, Callum, I think that about wraps us up.
Just about wrapping it up.
We're at 5 past. We've pushed the boat out a bit. We got an extra.
Oh, yeah, we did.
I think we started a bit late.
That's true.
But before we head off, have you got anything that you want to add? Anything you want to tell our viewers?
Oh man, tons. I want to tell all of our viewers. Obviously, find us on Instagram and all of our social media outlets. More will be coming. I'm assuming we'll do like a Twitter and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get a YouTube up. We'll get Spotify, Apple Music. We're definitely going to look into all that. So we'll get the podcast across all platforms.
And basically fire your questions to us. Tell us what you guys want to know. Even if there's just a couple of you, fire your questions in. We'll answer them. And if there's anyone out there that wants to join the podcast, send in a CV.
Yeah, because there's a lot of competition.
It's we're pretty bucked up here. But we'll have some really, really interesting people on here. The viewable guys.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a great product, a good technology.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have the old fella Alistair on here. That would be great.
Yeah. I've got a couple of people big in real estate down south and across Scotland. So without a doubt, we will be bringing some strong guests on that a lot of people can learn a lot from. Like Callum said, find us on Instagram, Value Proposition Podcast. Both of our personal Instagrams will be in the bio, so you can catch us both personally there. So apart from that, thanks for listening or not listening.
Thanks for either of those options.
Awesome. Thanks, Callum.
Thanks, Andy.